So I picked up one of the new Rare Beauty blushes. So there are new 2 shades that Rare Beauty has, and I picked up the shade Virtue, which is a nice peach beige. And she also came out with another one that is called Worth. And Worth is more of a true rose. So I really like more peachy, more bronzy, more caramel shades. I do have a lot of rosy shades as well. So I thought I should try this one instead. It retails for $30 Canadian. It comes into 9 shades for radiant finish, 4 shades for matte. Now this is described on the Sephora website as a radiant blush. It's under that category, but they also put it under matte. So it's very interesting. Let me make sure this is not too bright so that we can try this on. So I was thinking of trying this blush on my one cheek, and then I have 2 other blushes as well, and I have the Bliss and Joy, and I want to try this on the other cheek so you guys can see how it compares to this too. Now this comes again in the same type of packaging as all of her other blushes. It says right here Rare Beauty in the shade Virtue, and the shade is on the top. And when we open it up, it's the exact same packaging as all of her other ones. Yeah, everything is the same. And on the bottom, it says Virtue. So here's a close-up of the actual shade. It's so pretty. I love that it's like a nice peach. Okay, so let me do a couple swatches. So when I open it up, let's try open it up here. It has the nice, big doe foot applicator. You can see, and I think the doe foot applicator is a little bit different than the other one. Yes, it is. Okay, so this is the doe foot applicator of the new shade in the shade Virtue, and here is the doe foot applicator from her previous shade. Doesn't it look different? It looks a tiny bit, this one looks a tiny bit smaller and bigger, like thicker, and this one looks just thinner and longer. Maybe I'm just imagining things, but to me that's what it looks like. Okay, so here are the swatches. Here we have Joy, which is this one. Then I have Bliss, which is this one. And here is Virtue. So you can see how nice and different they all are. Very pigmented. Ooh, look at that. I really am excited to try this one. I think this is such a beautiful shade. So let's go ahead and try this new one on the side of the cheek. So I have foundation, I don't have concealer, and I have the Westman Atelier contour stick in the shade Biscuit. So it's not much. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to put 1 dot like that and see what that does. And I'm going to use a Co Beauty brush, which is slanted like this, and see what this pigment brings us. Oh yeah, so you can see how nice and sheer it becomes, and it provides a nice glow. It is radiant. I'm not wearing any type of highlighter, so I'm not wearing highlighter. You can see how nice it looks. Let's intensify it just a little bit. You can add another dot, so you can work in steps in case you want a nice sheer blush or you want to intensify it. Okay, so this is what Virtue looks like. I am so happy with the shade. Now, let's compare it to the other 2 blushes. So I'm going to put Joy on this side, just 1 dot, and I'm going to use a different brush, and this is the Sephora 56 brush. And let's see, I know obviously the shades are different, but I want to see the formula compared to this one. This is very similar in formula, so you can see the nice shininess coming through. Again, this is more on the peach side. This is more on the pink side. Look how pretty that is. So this is in the shade Joy. I love it. Okay, so I'm gonna take Joy off, and then we're gonna put Bliss on so you guys can see it compared to Bliss, and that kind of helps you make a decision on which shade you prefer the most. So I'll be right back. Okay, so now let's put the shade Bliss. Again, the doe foot applicator, they seem different to me. So let's put a good dot of Bliss. And I'm going to use a BK Beauty 109 so that we don't contaminate the blushes. And you can see that this is more mauvey, more pinky than Joy. So beautiful. I love the shade. So depending on what color you like most. So this was Joy and Virtue. So you can see how different they look on the hand compared to on the cheek. Love it. Okay, so I'm going to take this off and apply Virtue and give you my final thoughts and let you know if they're worth it or not. Okay, so let's go ahead and apply Virtue on this side so that both cheeks look the same. So I did a couple stamps on it and I'm going to apply it with the first brush, which was my Co Beauty brush. This is so pretty. And if you guys want to see how it goes with a sponge, let's try it with a sponge on this side. You have a little bit more control with a sponge, I think. And if you apply too much, like this is the difference. So here it is with a sponge. And then here it is with a brush. So here we reapplied it. So let's go ahead and reapply it here too. And again, use a sponge and see if the color stays the same or it just becomes a little bit more sheer than with a brush. Ooh, it's pretty. What do you guys, which one do you prefer? The brush or sponge? I think I prefer sponge. So I'm going to use the sponge and go over here because you can see some lines. You want to blend it so that you don't see where the blush starts and ends. You want to have it nicely blend into the skin. Yeah. I like it with a sponge, definitely. So it works both ways. You can use a brush or a sponge. Now, what do I think? I think that all shades look pretty. It all depends on what color you gravitate towards the most. But I think my favorite out of Joy, Bliss, and Virtue is probably Virtue. They're all beautiful, but I'm gravitating towards Virtue because I love this type of peachy shades. So definitely recommend it. This is $30 Canadian, but a little bit goes a long way. Unfortunately, I don't see that she has any minis. So I would suggest that if you do find minis, grab the minis because a little bit of this product is so pigmented and it will last you forever. So you don't need, this is like a 7.5 milliliter packaging. But yeah, these are the 3 shades I own. These are the 2 old ones and here is Virtue. And I'm happy I picked this up. It's nothing more special or different than her previous formula. So don't think that the formula changed. It's just a new shade that came out and that's why it's a new product, because of the shade. So nothing else is different with the formula. If you're wondering what I'm wearing on my eyes, not sure if you do care, but it's the Pat McGrath Subliminal 1 shade. I've used some of this browns and this shade in the inner corner. I think that is just a beautiful palette. That's what I'm wearing on my eyes. And on my lips, I picked up the new NYX Fat Oil. And this is a new shade I picked up. This is in the shade That's Chic. And I love this shade. It's a nice mauvey shade. So yeah, in case you're wondering. But yeah, this is kind of my review on the new shade of the Rare Beauty blushes. And again, not a new formula, it's just a new shade, and I thought I should show it to you compared to my other ones that I own. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, don't forget to subscribe, and I cannot wait to see you in my next one. Love you guys. Bye.